feel like it's gonna fall. If I sound like I've been running, I haven't. I just got tested for coronavirus. Somebody on my freaking TikTok was like, you really should save those tests for people who actually need them. I'm diabetic. I'm at a high risk. I also called my doctor before I got the test to make sure that it was a good idea and that I wasn't taking a test from anyone who needed it. I feel like this is tilting. Sorry, it's tilted. Speaking of TikTok, I posted a video where I was like, stop kissing your best friend, because there's a trend going around where people kiss their best friends, their best guy friends and their best girlfriends. It's mostly women doing it, because I think if men did it, we'd be like, ew.
I got so many blessings. Happy you.
This seems either really weird or really staged. I feel like this is a terrible time to film this video because I'm so low energy right now, because one of the symptoms of coronavirus is fatigue. It's also a symptom of depression and anxiety, which I also have, so this could just be the longest panic attack in the world and I have no idea. But anyway, I want to start off by, I have a list here of friends that I've either tried to sleep with or make out with and how that turned out. Some of them are my best friends, some of them are women, some of them are men, some of them I didn't even get to kiss, some of them are not on this list because I'm still friends with them, and if I told that story, I would tell it very angrily because we still have some shit to work out. I'm not changing names because I don't fucking care. I have it all written down because I have ADD, so if it sounds like I'm going off on a bunch of tangents, I am. My first crush was my best friend Sierra in high school. First one I can remember. I'm sure I had a crush on like a Disney princess, but the first crush I can remember it was my best friend Sierra. This was in high school. I realized I had a crush on her freshman to the end of time. Freshman year to the end of time. So I had a crush on her freshman year. No, my best friend Sierra. The point fucking is, okay, that I figured this out with help from my other friend Isaac. He was he identified as bi at the time. He's hella gay, but at the time he was like, I'm bi. And so we were talking about what bisexuality meant, and I was like, I think I'm that thing. And he was like, yeah, no shit, you've had a crush on Sierra since forever. And I was like, those were what my vagina feelings were. So I told him, and then I didn't tell anyone else. I think maybe my parents. I didn't tell anyone else until it was like some random day in the middle of summer, and I was hanging out with our friend Ryan. And Ryan and I didn't normally hang out, but for some reason he wanted to hang out with me. So we walked all the way to this graveyard, and basically I was like, can I tell you something? And he was like, yeah. I'm like, you can't tell anyone. And he was like, okay. And I told him that I was bi and I had a crush on Sierra, and I was like, don't tell her, like, I know she doesn't feel the same way. He's like, how do you know? I'm like, I'm pretty positive she doesn't feel the same way. And he was like, okay, yeah, of course, oh my god. So then fast forward a month or so to our friend Haley's birthday party. Haley was having an outdoor pool party at her grandma's house. Sierra, Ryan, and I were invited with Isaac and a bunch of other people. My ADD is so bad right now because of my anxiety. So the point is that at this party, my friend Sierra comes up to me and she's like, Shona, can I talk to you? And I was like, oh my god, sure, okay. And she comes up to me and she's like, so I know that you have a crush on me. And I was like, what? Who told you that? She was like, Ryan told me everything. I was like, listen, it's not a big deal. Like, I totally understand you don't feel the same way. Like, don't worry about it. She's like, okay, like, I just don't want to lose my friendship with you. You're so important to me. And, like, I wish I could be bi. I wish I could be into you, but I just, like, can't. I'm like, yeah, I know. It's fine. I don't care. So my heart was a little broken and I was a little pissed. So I went to my friend Isaac and I was like, Ryan told Sierra that I had a crush on her and like outed me to Sierra. And at the time, I didn't realize how fucked up it was that he outed me to the person I had a crush on. But fuck you, dude. I'm gonna send this to you because you're a shithead. You're in the story again. So I pulled Ryan aside and I told him, I was like, you told Sierra that I had a crush on her and I told you fucking not to. And he was like, yeah, like, I'm really sorry, it just happened. Like, it just happened that you randomly told her that I had a crush on her. Are you on fucking crack? So I said, I want to slap you right now. And then I tried to slap him. And then he moved and I hit his nose and I said, stay still. And I slapped him in the face. I should have known. Anyway, Haley had a sleepover with all the girls as well because that's normal things that happen. And we all slept in the same fucking bed because it was like a huge, like, queen size bed or whatever. It was like 4 girls in one bed, basically. And it was Sierra and I and Haley and one of her friends. So I'm sleeping next to Sierra. It just kind of happened that way. I was like, I'm not gonna try anything because I'm not a fucking scumbag. And then in the middle of the night, Sierra wakes up and she like pushes up against me and then like grabs my arm. So I like cuddle her and I was like, what the fuck is happening? I was very confused. I didn't try anything. Like, I didn't try to touch her boob or her vagina or like kiss her or whatever. I was like, okay, like, this is platonic friend thing. She just wants me to like cuddle her as a friend or whatever, which wasn't really her jam, but I was like, whatever, I have a crush on her, so I'm not gonna not do this. But, you know, I was a teenager, I had a lot of hormones, I was feeling a lot of things. I had slapped somebody that day, like, I was feeling on cloud 9, baby. So then I wake up again in the middle of the night because I don't sleep well at slumber parties. I can't sleep at other people's houses. It's a problem. And she is woken up and she's pushing me off of her aggressively. And I was like, oh my God, okay. Like, so I turn around and face away from her and like get as far away as I can. She like told me, she was like, no, stop, get off me. And I was like, first of all, take a shot every time I say the word like, if you want to die. Oh, so I woke up the next morning. She was like, hey, what's up? I was like, I mean, I don't know, you cuddled me last night or you wanted to, and then in the middle of the night you pushed me away, and I'm sorry, I didn't do anything, I wasn't trying anything, you were the one who was trying to cuddle me. And she was like, yeah, I was trying to see if I was into it, and then I realized I wasn't, and so I pushed you off, sorry. I was like, okay. Anyway, we'll come back to her. She has a reappearance, but we fell out after high school. Moving on. The year after I graduated high school, I had this friend. She got me into all sorts of trouble. I basically had severe low self-esteem after being friends with Sierra for 4 fucking years and being in high school, and I like broke it up. I broke up with my high school boyfriend and he dated my friend Haley. Now, Amanda and I had severe low self-esteem, so we set up this game where basically we were like, okay, we're gonna try and whoever can sleep with the most people wins. I don't know what we won. We didn't win anything. We won sadness and self-hate. I don't know. That was my time where I just like went for it. I was just ba-chunk everybody. Anybody and everybody, including Amanda. So basically, before all this, I had told Amanda, I was like, you know what, I'm bi, like, I even made a joke, like, oh yeah, you think you're gonna get more dudes to fuck you? Well, I have the advantage because I also can fuck girls. And she's like, whatever, I'll still fuck more dudes, more people or whatever. I'm like, because girls have to be included or else that would be, what? Homophobic. It was February. We were on our way to visit a college we had both been accepted into. Amanda and I were on a train. It was a long ass train ride. We were going from Vermont to Illinois. So we're on this train ride for a long ass fucking time getting to Chicago. And on the train, she started to like lean on me and she was like playing with my hands and like cuddling with me and like, what's on your phone? And we were like listening to music together. And when you share a headphone with someone, That's real life. You're married now. Basically just a whole bunch of gay shit that I was like, what? She was being really cutesy with me and like really like, so I, being the very alone, very insecure bisexual woman who had never been with a woman before, was like, so this is love. Ooh. I was feeling some stuff, and then she like started to fall asleep, and I was like, you can lean on me if you want. She's like, okay. We get off that long train ride to get on a different fucking train to get from Chicago to the college town that we were going to. And on that train ride, I was like, hey, do you want to like do stuff? You want to like make out? Like, I kind of liked what was going on back there. Like, I went from one train ride to another train ride and was like, we're dating now. I didn't say it like that. But I was basically just like, so what's the situation? Like, after one train ride, it was a long train ride. It was like fucking 15 hours more. It was a long ass fucking train ride. So she said to me, she's like, I'm not bi. Like, I just did it because I liked having the attention, which is very bold of her to just say. So I was pretty pissed. So I stopped talking to her for a while. But basically I was like, cool. And here are some pictures from that. A friend of ours who also went with us took pictures of the whole thing. Took pictures from the moment where I started to feel things to the moment she was like, goodbye. So that was sick. So funny to look at those pictures of me being so angsty. A year later, after I had attempted to go to college and then some fun things happened, I ended up being friends with someone who I knew from the year previous. Her name was Emmy. One night, Emmy and I were friends. I took her to her homecoming dance, her winter ball, dressed like a man. I was in full drag. Nobody believed it. They were like, that's a girl, because I have big boobies. Doesn't look like it, but I do. It's just because I'm tall. Anyway, not the point. The point is that I was obviously starting to get a crush on her. Like, we slow danced together, and basically she also had really low self-esteem, and I was getting my self-esteem back up a little bit. It was still pretty low, but I all of a sudden grew this complex of, I want to make the girls that think they're fucking ugly feel like fucking princesses. I'm not saying she was ugly. I'm not like, I'm gonna date ugly girls because they deserve to be loved by someone so hot. Like, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the girls who thought they were ugly because of insecurities and bullshit and like society, because like, wait, whatever. Still, I also just like I like a girl with some meat on her bones, more cushion for the pushing. Basically, I wanted them to feel like they deserve to be treated like princesses, and I was gonna be the person that treated them like a princess, because I know boys weren't gonna be doing that. That was the vibe. So, prime example is when we finally we were gonna go see a movie with some guy she was trying to date and his friend. She was like, yeah, like, I'm gonna go see him, and I was like, cool, perfect, like, let's go, happy to go with you, whatever. I wasn't like crushing really hard yet because I kind of knew that it wasn't a thing and I wanted her to be my friend. We attempted to go to the movie, and then halfway to Burlington, she gets a text from the guy she's going to the movies with, and he's basically like, or a call or whatever, and he's like, yeah, just kidding, like, I don't want to go. And she was devastated, because insecurities and anxiety and depression, you know, the best, the trio, the three horsemen of the apocalypse. We went back to her parents' house, and they had a camper set up outside because this was the summer. Now I knew that she was bi. I knew that we were both like into girls, right? So we're sleeping on opposite sides of the camper, and then she's talking you know, I'm saying like, oh, you know, like I wouldn't do that to you, I wouldn't do this to you, da, da, da. Classic lesbian trying to get into the straight girls' panties moves. Like, I would never treat you like that. Like, that was what I was doing. Didn't know it at the time. But basically saying nice things, being a gentleman. And she was like, I mean, like, I wish I could just, like, fuck you right now. Like, I'm like really horny right now. And I was like, oh my god, me too. So we banged. And by banged, I mean I did all the work. Later on, she left the camper to go get water, came back and was like, my legs were shaking. Like, I could barely walk. I was like, Anyway, the point is, fight me. Here's where I fucked up. We did that. I realized I had caught feelings because I am a crazy person. I like got super hyper attached and I wanted to date her. Actually, I posted a poem about it on Tumblr. And she saw my Tumblr post and was like, I didn't know you felt that way about me. Like, I wish I could return the feelings, but I can't. And I was like, it's fine. So then I slept with her friend who she had a crush on, but she like wasn't trying to date, and she was not happy about that. Yeah, that was bad. It wasn't great. I can tell a story about that time too. All my like crazy hookup stories. There's a lot. That one was one of the ones that was like, what the fuck. Point is, she was mad that I even attempted to like sleep with him or whatever, and we didn't talk for a while. Cool. So this was about 6 years ago. I met this guy. His name was Cal. He dated Sierra in high school. So I had known him from high school because they had dated. They went to different schools, but they dated. He hit me up at some point because he like saw me on social media or something, and he was like, hey, you know, how are you? And I'm like, oh, I'm good. Like, weird that you're texting me right now. He was like, yeah, you know, we got to talking, we became friends, and then we started the longest foreplay session in the universe. Being like, we can't, we shouldn't, oh my god, like, what? No. And then not doing anything, mostly. And then it got to the point where I was like, well, what's the situation? And he was like, I don't think we ever should because, you know, I'm sort of dating this girl. So he basically was like, it's not gonna happen. And I was like, oh, okay, fine. I'm like, yeah, so, you know, I'm just gonna like kind of go around and bang other people. And he was like, yeah, it's fine, just as long as you don't bang Ryan. Because he knew Ryan too. Remember Ryan? Ryan, the little shithead who outed me? Yeah, that Ryan. I'll tell you more stories about Ryan if you want. I got a lot of them. Anytime someone tells me, you're not allowed to do this thing, you're not allowed to bang this person, you're not allowed to do this thing, I'm like, so I went to Ryan and I was like, you want to do this or not? I don't want to go in a lot to what happened with Ryan because I could save that for a Ryan video if you guys want to see a Ryan video. Or a crappy hookup video. He can be in that category as well. Fucking asshole. It sucked. It just was the worst. So basically I went and told Cal, I was like, yeah, so I have to with Ryan. He's probably gonna find out about it. And just thought I should tell you. And he was like, it makes me kind of sad. And I was like, I know, but you told me not to, and I do whatever I told him not to do. Because I'm an asshole. And somewhere down the line, Cal and I, we can't think, I'm so brain dead right now, I cannot think of any other term for sex. We did the deed. Yeah. One time, and then, you know, me being me, let up, caught feelings, because I don't know how to be normal. I've had enough sexual partners where I haven't caught feelings every time, but if there's some emotional bond there previously and then we bang, I'm like, we're dating now, I want to be with you. Cal and I both liked each other and we wanted to date, but we were both really fucked up mentally, and I think it was a good idea that we didn't date. I think to this day he thinks that we would have made a good couple if it had been different times, and I'm like, no. He drives me insane. He's still my friend. Out of all these people, the only person I am still friends with is Cal. I love that boy. He's just a fucking idiot. And it cracks me up that he thinks we would have been, like, good together. Eventually, as you know, like, I caught feelings and it didn't work out. Basically, he was like, I gotta be here for my ex sort of girlfriend. We're sort of dating, we're sort of not. Because, you know, if I break up with her, she'll probably kill herself. Which is incorrect, and I just want to point out that she's not the kind of, she didn't say that to him, like, she isn't that toxic person. That's emotional manipulation and abuse, just so you know. Don't fall for it. She did not tell him that. He made that assumption on his own because he's a psycho. Or he was psychotic at the time. Okay, now that we've talked about Cal, who previously dated Sierra, let's talk about Sierra again. Oh, what a gem. Anyway, basically, right before I met my fiance Cameron, Sierra hit me up. And we were hanging out one night, had a little too much tequila, and she decided she was mad at her boyfriend, so she would seduce me. And because she had been my high school crush and the person who awakened my sexuality in my mind, I said yes. Now when I tell you that this also could go in the category of awkward hookup stories that are totally not appropriate for YouTube, but I'm gonna do it anyway, this is basically what it is.
It's not pay, that's squirt.
Yeah. So much. I literally almost drowned in the pussy. Which is funny because she almost drowned like twice in her life. Anyway, that happened. And it was awkward and horrible. And then she introduced me to Cameron, who's now my fiance, and because they used to date, and we stopped being friends after that, because she was kind of pissed that I was dating her ex. Valid. I mean, but I didn't care about that friendship anymore, so only time you should ever date your friend's ex is if there's been enough time in between them dating and you dating, like years, I'm talking, and if you value the friendship, you need to, like, double check with your friend. Like, is this gonna ruin my friendship? You just need to check in. And I even checked in with her. I was like, listen, I really like Cameron. Like, I want to be friends with Cameron. Like, more than friends with Cameron. And she was like, ugh, okay. But, like, I didn't care about the friendship, so if she got mad at me for it, I was gonna be like, I really don't give a shit. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted the relationship more than the friendship. And she was a shitty friend. Cool. I thought I was going to talk about Carl, but that's going to be so much footage. Carl was my high school boyfriend. We started off in the same friend group. I could do a whole video on Carl as well, because recently he's done piece of shit things. He's a little piece of shit. He's a little poo-poo boy. Little pee-pee poo-poo boy. But basically, you know, he was in our friend group. I started dating him. We broke up a bunch. That's on me. And because I was manic and a little crazy, because borderline personality disorder. Not that that's an excuse. I'm just saying it's an explanation. And it's frustrating that my mental illness gets in the way of my life. So I was super manic at the time. I was graduating high school. I had broken up with him finally because he was a shithead and didn't treat me very well. And then he started dating my friend Haley. And then I was pissed about that. And then I kept talking to both of them and basically was like, I'm pissed and whatever. And like at one point I gave her permission even though she didn't fucking ask for it, which is a bitch move on her part. She was like, well, I don't plan on dating Carl anyway. Like, Carl and I aren't dating. I was like, okay, well, it just seems like you're flirting a lot in front of me. She's like, will you break up with him? I was like, yeah, but if you're not gonna date him, why the fuck are you flirting so much in front of me? Like, it's hurting me. Like, I understand if you're gonna date him, but this just sucks. She's like, well, then don't be around. I'm like, you guys are my friends. What am I supposed to do? Anyway, she's a bitch too. She never apologized for being a bitch. I had to apologize for her for being a bitch. It's great. The point is basically because Carl was such a little kicked puppy attitude, little victim, you know, piss boy, all my friends took his side because he was and I lost all my friends at the end of my high school career. They all thought I was a bitch. I'm the friend that you're kissing. I know. My phone is about to fall down, it looks like, and I don't have an outro. Normally I would hold up one of my bunnies and be like, oh, how cute they are, like, say goodbye. But because I might have coronavirus, I'm not allowed to hold my animals, which means this quarantine is gonna suck. Like, if I get the test results back and I do have it, I'm gonna have to spend 3 weeks away from my babies, because it might take a week to even get the results. Anyway, peace, bitches.